Harry is called being high. I mean, it brings new meaning to your highness. Exactly. I think that this is a dangerous
That's his
conversation.
new nickname, your high.
Picture yourself having it all: royal status, global fame, and a golden ticket to the upper echelons of society. Yet somehow, your grand reinvention as a lifestyle mogul crashes harder than a champagne flute at a tense palace dinner. Meghan Markle's latest business venture didn't just underwhelm, it became a spectacle so awkward, even her staunchest supporters winced. The launch of American Riviera Orchard promised rustic charm and understated luxury. Think artisanal jams, delicate floral jars, and a dreamy aesthetic straight out of a high-end catalog. But instead of organic buzz, the rollout reeked of staged scarcity. Products mysteriously sold out within seconds, sparking accusations that the limited stock was more marketing ploy than reality. When your audience notices the smoke and mirrors, the magic disappears fast. Then there was the promotional video, a rare misstep for someone usually so polished. Meghan's delivery felt strained, her smiles just a little too tight, her gaze oddly unfocused. The whole thing gave off the energy of someone reading lines while mentally drafting an exit strategy. Fans weren't just confused, they were concerned. Was this exhaustion, stress, or something deeper? The brand's biggest flaw? It's all aesthetic, no substance. A jar of dried petals isn't a product. It's a decor idea you'd scroll past on Instagram. And the jam? Experts in the preserving world practically cringed. The texture was questionable, the ingredients unremarkable, and the rebrand from jam to spread reeked of damage control. When industry veterans start side-eyeing your recipe, you know you've missed the mark. Meanwhile, Prince Harry's demeanor has been raising eyebrows for months. His public appearances have grown increasingly detached, his smile rarely reaching his eyes. Long before the jam drama, observers whispered that he seemed lost, like a man caught between two worlds, neither of which quite fits anymore. So here we are, a duchess hawking overpriced pantry staples, a prince who looks like he'd rather be trekking in Botswana, and a brand that feels about as authentic as a reality TV reunion. But trust me, this story's got layers, like one of those fancy but suspiciously dry cakes Meghan might have included in her lineup. Don't go anywhere, hit like, smash subscribe, and ring that bell so you're here when the next chapter drops. Because if there's one thing royals do better than wave from balconies, it's delivering drama we can't look away from.
Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex's much anticipated restock and second drop of her As Ever products happened today. And just like the first time, they sold out very quickly. And the media acted just as normal as you might expect. Like this article from the Daily Mail, which doesn't rely on actual researchers, but quotes from pro-royal Twitter accounts. As Ever also announced in their newsletter that they would be dropping a rosé made locally in Napa Valley on July 1st, which also happens to be the late Princess Diana's birthday, which, well played. Which seems to have confused some royal reporters, because why in the world would a woman from Montecito come out with a wine from Napa Valley for her lifestyle brand, which includes teas and jams and baking mixes? Why ever would she do that for her mostly female audience in the summer with a rosé, which is a refreshing, typically...
Behind palace gates, people used to whisper. Now, they're practically shouting it. Something's off with Prince Harry, and more voices, royal watchers, insiders, and commentators alike, are sounding the alarm. His recent appearances have been dull and distant, with a blank stare that's hard to miss. And the concern isn't just about a bad day or two. The fear is that he's slipping back into a darker space, one he's openly battled before. Long before Meghan ever entered the picture, Harry was transparent about his mental health struggles. He spoke candidly about the trauma of losing his mother, the anxiety he carried, and how he leaned on alcohol and drugs to get through the weight of it all. And lately, there's been increasing talk that those old habits might be making a quiet return. There was that photo in London. Not a candid video or interview, Just a single image, but the look on his face was enough to make people stop. He seemed lost, unfocused, like a man barely holding on. As one commentator bluntly put it, Harry looked like a walking pharmacy. That's not an accusation, but it speaks to how visibly troubled he seemed. No one has confirmed a relapse, but the speculation is getting louder for a reason. Harry has a history of trying to outrun himself, and if Meghan's brand is wobbling, if their carefully curated California lifestyle is starting to crack, the pressure lands squarely on him too. While Meghan's busy with dried petals and glitchy launches, Harry appears to be quietly falling apart. What we're seeing isn't just a marketing mess. It feels like a family under strain. And while they might still be trying to hold the image together, everyone else can see the unraveling happening in real time. This isn't a case of secret breakdowns behind closed doors.
Consumed during the summer wine. Why would she possibly do that? These people are not confused. They have negative articles to write. If it had taken As Ever products hours to sell out, everything would have been As Ever is struggling. Meghan's fans don't show out. Does this spell trouble? We would see headlines that With Love Meghan was on the chopping block. A source close to Netflix executives say, etc., etc. Which is why I'm not going to talk about this garbage, because you're all smart enough at this point to know what it is. While I believe that there is room for serious analysis, we're not getting it here. So anyway, I hope that everyone who was able to order products today truly enjoys them and ignores the noise. It's just people trying to make paychecks.
Harry's change is playing out right in front of the cameras. His speeches lack life. The spark he once had, the confident, cheeky charisma, has been replaced by something robotic, even lifeless. Those close to royal affairs aren't sugarcoating it anymore. Some have labeled it a crisis. Others say it's a full-on emotional collapse. Gone is the vibrant energy that used to define him. In its place is hesitation, confusion, and that heavy, empty look that can't be brushed off with a smile. He's not the same man. And frankly, it's painful to watch. This is the same person who once admitted he used substances not to party, but to escape, to feel anything other than the constant emotional weight. Those weren't tabloid claims. Those were Harry's own words. And now, his current behavior feels eerily familiar to that version of himself. Observers are connecting the dots. The lack of clear, consistent messaging from Harry and Meghan's side only adds to the worry. When Harry's doing well, they usually lean in. Media interviews, feel-good stories, public outings. But lately, it's been brief appearances and forced smiles. The silence speaks volumes. And while all this is playing out, Meghan isn't exactly offering stability on her end either. Not in some dramatic, villainous way, but in a more confusing, unsteady sense. One week she insists the artificial sellout tactic is over because it misleads buyers, and the next week, it's back with no explanation. First she announces no more drops this year, then suddenly, there's another one. It's not strategy, it's noise. It sends the message that there's no real direction behind the brand, just vague vibes, a noble title, and a bet that her name alone will make it work. The visual branding doesn't help. Everything looks like it's been pulled from a decade-old Pinterest mood board. Soft pastels, dainty fonts, and the now cringe Cheers Dears tagline that feels like it belongs on a wedding favor, not a product label. It's pretty, sure, but there's no story behind it, no soul. Even her supporters are beginning to ask, what's the point of this brand? What is Meghan actually trying to say or sell here? Because right now, it feels like a curated aesthetic with no foundation. And the most telling part, these products, the jams, the honey, the flower jars, aren't being sold in any meaningful volume. Despite all the fanfare, sources estimate the revenue from the launch barely scratched the surface. We're talking a few $1,000s at best. The numbers tell the real story. Despite the media frenzy, industry insiders estimate the launch generated only a few $1,000s. Peanuts for a venture banking on Meghan's global profile. When professional jam makers dismiss your products as amateur and sales fizzle faster than flat champagne, it's not a stumble, it's a faceplant. So here's where we are. A prince who seems to be fading before our eyes, a duchess scrambling to salvage a floundering brand, and a partnership that looks increasingly fragile. Buckle up, because if this is just the beginning, the next chapters promise to be even messier.
After years of strained relations, Prince Harry is extending a new olive branch, and this time it might actually work. The Duke of Sussex is reportedly planning to invite King Charles and Prince William to the 2027 Invictus Games, giving the royal family plenty of notice in hopes they'll attend and show support. A source told the Mail on Sunday, Harry has agreed that Invictus should extend an invitation to his family. Invictus hopes the royal family will come along to support the wounded veterans taking part. Harry is hopeful his father will set aside their differences to attend. The insider added that this could be one olive branch from him which might be reciprocated, as the royals have always been proud of what Harry's achieved with Invictus. According to royal expert Katie Nicholl, there's certainly a possibility that the king might consider attending Invictus. So what do you think? Is a royal reunion on the cards?
Meghan's once loud fan base has noticeably quieted. The Sussex squad tried to play the hero role, reportedly bulk buying to keep up appearances, but even that looked more like a performance than genuine support. Rumors swirled about someone scooping up 50 jars in one go, only for curious customers to discover the official limit was 6. The buzz wasn't natural, it was engineered, and the cracks started showing fast. Amid all this, one person has kept a low profile: King Charles. Publicly, he's silent, but according to those close to the family, his concern isn't about headlines or product launches. It's about his son. Harry, despite all the fame, all the titles, still looks adrift. And that's starting to worry people. The royal drama has shifted. It's not about petty feuds anymore. It's about damage control. Sources say Charles remains a father first. Even with everything that's happened, that instinct hasn't disappeared. Insiders claim that whenever Harry's name comes up, the king's tone changes. Part worry, part fatigue. After years of stepping in and protecting Harry from the fallout of his own choices, he's reportedly drawing a clear line. If Harry made this mess, he needs to clean it up. Not because Charles is heartless, but because he's drained. At some point, even royal patience wears thin.
New inventory launch day.
We spent so much time making sure we had so much more inventory. That's why we took the time, and you guys are doing it again. We're nearly sold out on everything, and I can't believe it. Even flower sprinkles, which I knew was going to be the big one again, so that has more inventory than all of it. And that's also about to sell out. So I was looking at my iMessage, and I thought, okay, I love this feature, and I never thought of it. Like, is it confetti or is it flower sprinkles? Thanks, everybody.
Harry's been carrying emotional weight for most of his life. Losing Diana, the pressure of the crown, a brutal tabloid culture, then a highly publicized move overseas, marriage, fatherhood, legal battles, and a brand that's still struggling to find its place. It's not just about making a business work anymore. People are starting to wonder if Harry can even stay grounded long enough to course correct. The financial side of things is also raising eyebrows. Rumors suggest Charles may still be supporting Harry behind the scenes, quietly providing funds even after the infamous claim that they were cut off. If true, it's likely happening in private, possibly as a last-ditch effort to stabilize the situation. But many believe that whatever support exists won't go on forever. Charles is under pressure from the crown, the public, and his own legacy. Continuing to fund what's turning into a PR disaster isn't exactly the royal strategy he wants, etched into history. Then there's Princess Eugenie, often seen as the last link to Meghan and Harry within the firm. For months, many assumed she had distanced herself from them entirely, but a recent appearance at Royal Ascot with Misha Nonu, one of Meghan's closest allies, sparked fresh speculation. Could Eugenie still be a bridge between both worlds? Some even accused her of being a mole for Meghan.
Okay, so what did everybody order for the As Ever restock? This is what I got. I got 4 things. 2 of each. I got the limited orange blossom honey, which I know sold out so quick, so that was the first thing I added in my cart. I did 2 checkouts because I wanted to make sure I procure these items, as well as the apricot spread and keepsake packaging. There's just an apricot spread independent of the packaging, but I wanted, a little fancier one. And also, apricot is bomb, so I'm so excited to spread it on my toast, much like the Duchess of Sussex does. In my second order, I got the shortbread cookie mix with flour sprinkles and 2 flour sprinkles because I love shortbread cookies, and I've never tried the flour sprinkles, but I'm really excited to, sprinkle them on once I bake the cookies or other, pancakes or whatnots. But the most exciting thing about the new drop, the As Ever drop, is that the Duchess of Sussex is launching a Napa Valley Rosé, which is set to release, well, pre-order on July the 1st at 8 a.m. Pacific time if you're in LA, 11 a.m. East Coast time. But honestly, this whole aesthetic, this vibe, this looks delicious. I love me a rosé. I also love a nice Cabernet, but mostly rosé. I don't like, hard liquor that doesn't just settle with my system anymore. I'm 35, my interiors are different. But the new launch of product was so premium. Again, this is the one product I have my eye on, the limited edition Orange Blossom Honey, and it's sold out, rightly so. So I'm really excited. When I get everything, I'll do a taste test for you all. And I was thinking maybe I don't need 2 cookie boxes or 2 flower sprinkles, so maybe I'll do a giveaway for those of you who weren't able to get said items. But we'll see. So yay, happy launch day.
Though that theory might be giving one photo too much weight. Eugenie's always walked a fine line, friendly with Meghan's circle, yes, but also a loyal member of the royal family. She might just be trying to stay balanced in a family that's split clean down the middle. Not everyone is choosing sides. Some are just trying to survive the tension. Meanwhile, Meghan's problems extend far beyond questionable jams and failed launches. The narrative she once controlled is slipping through her fingers. Media outlets that once embraced her are starting to pull back. The tone has shifted. What was once admiration now feels more like fatigue. Her statements sound overly rehearsed, her public presence carefully edited, but emotionally distant. There's a growing sense that she's lost the plot. Is she trying to be a duchess, a wellness expert, an influencer, a brand visionary? Right now, she's none of them. She's just another celebrity selling aesthetic without substance, while everything behind the curtain appears to be falling apart. What Meghan and Harry need isn't another rebrand or curated rollout. They need a full reset, one rooted in honesty, humility, and long-term thinking. Because titles and nostalgia might draw attention at first, but they can't hold it forever. The public can sense the disarray. The brand is messy, the family dynamics are worse, and interest is turning into indifference. If there's any chance for a real comeback, it's not going to come from a fruit spread or a pastel-colored Instagram post. It's going to take something they've both avoided for far too long. Accountability. Thanks for sticking with us through all the twists and turns. If you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a story. And while you're here, check out our other videos. We've got plenty more tea steeping.